Cayman is a car that would burst your ears out, but even then it is so tempting that you won't be able to resist. Welcome to Mana Tech, and today we're giving you a review of the 2022 Porsche Cayman GT4 RS. But before we begin, why don't you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon? With that note, let's get started. Car manufacturers occasionally have the freedom to let their tresses down and produce something slightly insane to rekindle people's enthusiasm for automobiles. And the Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 RS is undoubtedly the company's most entertaining vehicle. How? If you wanted to combine the best features from every one of the company's sports car models, you might wind up with the GT4 RS. You have the extremely unique high RPM Porsche 911 GT3 engine coupled with the Cayman Coupe's mid-engine setup, which is smaller, lighter, and more balanced. However, Porsche has yet to continue. Due to a thinner rear windscreen and less soundproofing, the GT4 RS weighs 35 kilograms less than the standard GT4. The body kit is even more aggressive with a larger raised rear wing, extra vents up front on the bonnet and wheel arches, and a protruding front splitter that may peel the top layer of the road surface off. Earlier, Porsche wouldn't have thought this was a smart business move because it could, understandably, compete with 911 for sales. The Cayman GT4 RS appears to be the final farewell to this petrol-powered sports car, though, as the next generation Cayman is anticipated to be entirely powered by electric motors. Is this the Porsche everyone has been looking forward to? We'll commence with the engine since it has undergone the most significant change in the GT4 RS. Starting up, the 4.0-liter flat-six engine produces a somewhat agricultural sound, and the idle is deep and lumpy, causing some light tremors to be felt through the seats. When sitting inside the GT4 RS, you instantly notice how loud the engine is because the carpeted floor that was once placed on top of the engine bay behind the seats has been completely removed. You could spin around and touch the exposed engine cover if you wanted. As a result, when you take off, the engine note is accompanied by numerous whoops and hisses, which exposes your hearing to a much more unfiltered sound. This is made possible by the extra side-mounted air intakes installed where the normal model's rear quarter windows would have been, sending more air past your head and into the engine. With 493 horsepower, the Cayman GT4 RS has 79 more horsepower than the regular GT4 and is only 10 horsepower behind the 911 GT3. Peak power is generated at an exhilarating 8,400 RPM, but you're urged to rev because the red line is a dizzying 9,000 RPM, 1,000 RPM higher than the regular GT4. The reward is incredibly satisfying, particularly from an aural perspective. However, aiming for that every time can take some dedication, especially if you're used to shifting sooner on lower revving turbocharged engines. As you can hear, the six-cylinder Cayman's classic sound is already excellent, but the GT4 RS spoils you with an enticing, fizzy tone at the very top of the rev range. The final result is incredibly immersive, with a wonderfully unusual concoction of sounds and noises swirling around your brain before piercing your eardrums. You share an extended echo chamber with that motor. The accelerator pedal is a foot-operated volume control that begins at level 8 and goes up to about 15 if you want to hear more from the engine bay. Because of how loud it is, donning a helmet while driving aggressively for an extended period may provide a welcome layer of sound insulation. Like the standard GT4, the 7-speed automatic gearbox shifts gears incredibly quickly. You can use the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters or knock the gear lever to the side to physically change gears. Those hoping to use a clutch pedal with a gated manual gearbox must stick with the standard Cayman GT4 or track down a 911 GT3 if they're particularly attracted to this engine. The GT4 RS's suspension has been altered, including new springs, dampers, and anti-roll bars, making it even more composed than the GT4's already excellent handling. The adaptive dampers can be adjusted to a firmer level with the touch of a button, but even without it, the GT4 RS handles superbly. The standard option provides more flexibility to take mid-corner bumps. When you press the pedal, the optional ceramic brakes on our test vehicle immediately give you thrust. The steering isn't light and precise. The 911 GT3 is ultimately more capable, let alone the GT3 RS, which will be released shortly thanks to its incredible grip and traction. Due to the Cayman's lower limits, it is more playful at normal road speeds and less serious about lap times. It's more enjoyable for road use due to ease. You could use the GT4 RS every day, however, traveling a long distance in the GT4 RS would be for novelty purposes. Yes, the switchable sports exhaust can lessen the drone it produces when traveling down the highway, but the engine is so powerful that it drowns out any outside breeze or road noise that may be present. The suspension thumps sharply over the cat's eyes, and you can hear stones pinging off the bodywork because there is no sound deadening. Although it has 2 climate control zones, the air conditioning will need help keeping the engine bay cool, particularly during the summer. The interior of the GT4 RS is largely identical to that of every other Cayman, except for a few GT4 RS logos scattered about, a gear lever from the 911 GT3, and full bucket seats as standard. The roll cage and fire extinguisher are included in the extra Club Sport package. The Weissach package also adds a titanium roll cage, an exhaust system that uses titanium in part, and carbon fiber exterior parts like the bonnet, air intakes, and back wing. Additional options include lighter 20-inch magnesium rims, even lighter bucket seats are made with 3D printed parts, a nose lift system that raises the ride height over the front axle by 30 millimeters to lessen the likelihood of the bumper scuffing over speed bumps. The 911 GT3 we tested earlier was only 0.2 seconds slower than the 718 Cayman GT4 RS, and the standard 718 Cayman GT4 was significantly faster by 0.5 seconds. The vehicle's shortest quarter-mile time was 11.0 seconds at 125.8 miles per hour. The GT4 completed the feat in 11.8 seconds at 117.5 miles per hour, while the GT3 performed best at 10.8 at 127.9 miles per hour. Revs sums up the GT4 RS's accelerative sensation the best. According to Porsche, the transmission should be in sport mode, the stability control should be turned off, and then you should stand on the stop and throttle to engage the launch control. This results in launches at 6,400 RPM with no discernible tire spin or chassis drama. It's a sensational sonic pleasure, with the engine spinning to the sky and the glorious intake noise behind us. Regarding stopping, the GT4 RS was only 5 feet better than the GT4 and required 93 feet less than the GT3 to contain from 60 miles per hour. The brakes worked remarkably well, and in typical Porsche track car fashion, the pedal's feel inspires tremendous confidence and amply proves that the car can stop quickly and forcefully on multiple occasions. Why is there a catch? Well, your chances of purchasing one equal your chances of winning the lotto. Even if you had the money to spend on one, you couldn't just stroll into a showroom and drive away in one in exchange for cash, because the chances are probably worse. This was all for today. I told you all about Cayman. Now let us know your opinion about the car in the comments. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.